Okay, in this video, I'm essentially gonna show you how to automate Shopify orders in a way where you don't receive messages like this, where a package is delayed and the customer is still waiting and they're pissed. So yeah, and the reason for this is because I used to work in an ecom company before, and we ran into this issue before a lot. We did run into this. Back then, I didn't have the same brain like I have today, but I figure out there is actually a way to solve this entire thing. And the way to solve this is essentially what I was thinking is that you will have the order, you will receive the order in Shopify, and then you will have the tracking, and then you can essentially ping or poll the tracking, and essentially, by doing that, you will be able to then receive an update on that package number one and then check where the package is. Because we can see here where the package is all the time. So we can see here 9th of September, 10th, 11th, 11th. And if we know that we promise customers, oh, it's going to take 2 to 3 days. Normally, when you say 2 to 3 days, most people want it on the second day. But if we then can check that, oh, on the 10th of September, the package is not in the city where the person is, let's send a quick email and let them know, like, hey, your package is in Borås, just so you know. But the package is on the way and it looks like it should probably arrive tomorrow. I wouldn't say probably tomorrow. I might say the location, and based on our prior knowledge, it's probably gonna arrive tomorrow, but that's just based on historic numbers. I won't really promise them that it's going to arrive on the 11th because things can still happen. But by doing that, essentially, we will then be a step ahead from the customer, so they won't really email us and ask like, "Hey, where's my package? What is going on?" Instead, we've been proactive and reach out to them like, "Hey, this is what is going on. This is what is happening." And another thing with DHL, this is just a random package, is if I remember right, you can actually put your phone number to receive notifications or your email. So you could essentially use the actually is to receive email notifications on new orders. And that's essentially what I'm going to build out right now. Essentially, I'm not really going to use email because that's not really possible right now. But I am, however, going to build some sort of system to keep track of orders with Shopify and DHL in this case, just to show you what is actually possible. And here it is. It's completely empty. And the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm just going to copy this entire text here, and then I'm just going to paste it in here in ChatGPT. And then I'm just going to write project get a Shopify order and check the tracking of the shipment. If it's delayed, send a message to the customer. Else do nothing. And right now, since I did essentially write what we're gonna do, it's pretty easy, as you can see here. And now you just kind of gave me that, but that's not, it depends. I'm probably just gonna copy that in this case. And then I'm gonna go in here, create the flow, and we're gonna do that. I'm probably gonna change the name, it just depends. But then we're just gonna run a cron, and this is probably gonna run every, let's say 10 minutes. That's fine. You can run it more often, it depends on you, but I'll run it every 10 minutes. I'll run every 10 minutes. Something like that. And then I'm just gonna go into Shopify. I'm gonna create a new order. And now, when I think about it, I have a better idea. Why not just use the Shopify trigger? Order created. And we just do that. And now we publish it. We go back to Shopify and I add in hydration or something. I think it starts with H or something. I don't remember. Let's pick that. Hydration. Cool. And then I'm just going to copy that tracking link. And I'm just going to select a fake customer. Call, let's see here, this is it, and then collect payment, mark as paid. mark this create order. There you go. And then we're just gonna do, let's see, more actions and mark as fulfilled. Mark as in progress. Mark as unfulfilled. It's been a while since I've used this, but you're supposed to be able to. Let's do this Sweden, and then Ayumu, Hirano, doesn't matter. Let's go Stockholm, Malanda. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do something like that. Mark as, oh, there you go, DHL. And then let's just copy that tracking number. And now when I think about it, we actually did this in the wrong way. So I'm just gonna go back, Shopify. We're gonna do on fulfillment, on order fulfilled. Probably, that's probably the one we wanna do. So if we go back to Shopify, mark as fulfilled, and then I'm just gonna check if something happened. Perfect. Okay, great. No, that's the wrong one. This is the correct one. Perfect. So now what happened here? We got a fulfilled order, and if I search, I should probably see, perfect, I see the tracking. There's a tracking, right? Great. Trigger on fulfilled orders. We're gonna, like, the naming of the notes, we're gonna take care of that later, so that's fine. If we have some misspelling here. Either way, once we have the order, what is the next thing we actually gonna do? Well, we probably wanna track it somewhere. At least what I'm thinking. This can be a call. We can call this Shopify order shipped order tracker system. Perfect. And what do we actually need here? So now is the time when we can use the set field, and I'm just gonna go off my memory in terms of what is important. This is Shopify ID. I know that is important, 100%. I will say the tracking is gonna be the company, not really. Tracking URL is important. Tracking number is important, and then I'm just gonna tracking URL. I'm gonna take tracking number. And also, as you probably saw that it said 0. In this case, it's fine because we're never really going to add more than 2 trackings on the same shipment at the same time. So that's fine to go by that. And then let's see. We probably need a first name. We need name of the person. Let's see, first name. And we're gonna do, oh, you know what? No, let's split it up. It makes sense. It's far easier when working with AI later on down the line. Items. And we can probably just add them like this. It doesn't really matter. Okay, that's way too much information though. Let's see how we can. What is this? Attributes. That's a lot of information here. Okay, but okay. Let's do this. And then let's do JSON.stringify. Let's roll with that. What we got. Okay, let's what we got. Expect an array. Oh, never mind, it's that one. And then array. There you go. There is that. You know what? Let's actually just do this. I have a better idea. only need the line items, but we might have multiple line items at time. We're just gonna use that, and then I'm just gonna use that full body. Let's see. Oh my god, it's running a lot and it's super slow. Yes, but we need a code in and then so we can only get the line items in a set now. Mm-hmm. Okay, object which returns that actually only returns an object. Okay, let's try that out. Is it because we need to do EAs on that stringify? Let's see. Yeah, that helped. However, I'm kind of looking at the same thing. Let's see. Okay, I only want the item names if they are multiple items or one from this. Let's see, and the line item will be for example, and then full body. Let's try that. Okay, great. So now we actually got it. Perfect. So I guess when we have, let's remove that and then let's just do that line items. There we go. Okay, perfect. And we also have a new line here. As you can see, I can just remove the new line and there you go. And yeah, perfect. Now you see that this is actually a list. So that's perfect. No problems there. We got everything we need, and this will just get only needed fields for sheet, and that's essentially it. And I might rename that. And once we have that, I'm gonna add a Google Sheet node and then append a row in Sheet, and then Shopify order tracker system and orders. And I actually write everything in lowercase nowadays, and the only reason for that is because I'm actually approaching this as the backend and not really that you're supposed to look in there and like do I don't know. I don't know. A lot of people like doing weird things here, so yeah. But yeah, perfect. And now we created that, and then all I need to do is map columns manually. And to do what I just did, I just click map automatically, and then I just switch back here. So then it will just create the columns for me. And if I switch back, I can just map them in there. You don't have to switch it back if you don't want to, but generally speaking, I might want to add something else, so that's why I just do it this way. Save order in sheet, and then we're essentially done here. And there's one more thing I might add, which is the status new. Maybe in progress is better for this. So we're just gonna do that, and then we have that. And can you give me node names for these? Let's see. I don't know why it's writing so much. It's just crazy how much it's writing. Uh, Normally it will just give me what I need, but it might be because I'm using a new account. But yeah. And and this is essentially it. So there we go. Like now we changed all the names, and we're essentially done with saving the data to the sheet. And then I will probably let's change the flow name as well to match the new workflow. And yeah, perfect. And this is essentially how I usually do it because it's just, as you can see, it all makes sense. It's just like trigger on fulfill order, get order fields for tracking sheet, save order to tracking. Because when somebody looks at this and they're not like technical or they don't really understand how this works, my thinking is that they should at least be able to read the notes and read the name of the flow and go like, oh, okay, I understand what is going on here. So every single thing kind of have to have a name that just explains what is going on. And that's essentially what I did here. So up to this point, and if I just do something like this, delete this row, and I go back in here, oh, I deleted that, and I just go create a new one. Now we're gonna have in progress, we have the first name, we have the tracking, and all of it is done. Perfect. Okay, so what is the next step now? Well, the next step is that we need to essentially now keep track of the orders. So this is gonna be flow number 2, which is keeping track of orders in progress. That's the entire, and this is essentially where the cron is gonna come in, and we can, so we have two ways to handle this. Either we just check uh, all of the orders like once a day, which is a bit risky, or we use a date time. So daytime, last checked time, and that's another field now that I just added here. As you can see here, I'm updating things on the way, on the fly pretty much. But so last check time, why do we need that? Well, we kind of need this to run because if you have a lot of orders and you're sending them all over the world, you kind of want to check the orders maybe once a day for every order, like just once a day, that's fine. But you probably want to check them around times where you know that DHL is updating the status. Or I know this is actually even better. This is actually even better. Instead of last check time, we can do last message from shipper. I don't like the word shipper. I feel like there is a better word from freight company. That's long. That's overly long. Okay. Last message from freight company, because the way we can actually do this now, if I can I see any message? Okay. So what we can do here is that we can actually just, for example, take that, receive that terminal, and if we check again and the last message we have is received at terminal, and another thing we can do is that we can actually where's it called? Freight company date. Freight company. What is this? Timetable. I don't know. Like, what can you call it? Shipment location date or something like that. Maybe that works. Yeah, maybe that works. Because now we can essentially, because the problem here is that, as you can see, it says received at terminal, and then it says received at terminal, which means that we kind of have to make sure that received at terminal is matching by the date, as you can see here, or date and the message has to be the same, because if we have received at a terminal at Borlänge, that will mean that this is actually a new message. But if we only check receive a terminal, only the message, then it will actually be true that we've already done it here, which is not true because this is a new location. So now I might also add shipment location date, and then I might add shipment location as well. I'm just gonna see which one I'm gonna use. I'm probably gonna use location because that's generally speaking the better way to go about it. I'm not gonna use date, but we can have the date. We're probably gonna need it later. Okay, so now this automation can essentially run every 10 min, and then we're gonna get Google Sheet, and we're gonna get the rows in Sheet, and we're gonna go there, and we're gonna orders and add filter, and we're gonna add the status in progress. There you go. And then we're gonna get all orders. That's fine. Get in progress orders. Okay, cool. And then really what we need to do now is we need to, oh yeah, and we also need to make sure that it never goes backwards. It always goes forward. So yeah, gonna have to fix that up. Okay, so what are we gonna do next? Well, essentially now what we need to do is we probably need to do a HTTP on this. I don't know if this is gonna work. Maybe yes, maybe not. I don't know. We're just gonna see. They might block us. Let's see. Yeah, that is not. This is not working. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I didn't really expect this to work. Is there an API we can use this to get the status on like it is from DHL? Yeah, as you can see here, I mean, if you are a developer, you will be able to do that. So this is also another way you could go about it. I don't know how you're gonna go through like problem solving here. Really, I'm just saying that normally you're probably gonna have access to all of this on your end, so you don't really need to go this backward way down. And I don't even know if this is really gonna work with the tracking, but let's see. Generate API key, and then cool. DHL, and then it looks like they have a lot of DHL here. Let's go global, and then let's copy that, and let's see what comes up. Did I not create API key? Okay, no, no. So what are we seeing here? I'm not really saying a lot. Mhm. Oh, there you go. Now we have Okay, cool. This worked. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna copy that since that one worked, and I'm of course gonna delete my keys from that. I'm probably not ever gonna use this again. Uh, this was a lot of information. What is going on? I don't think that's right. Let's go HTTP, and did I? I don't think I copied this one because that was way too much information based on. There you go. Now it makes more sense. And then we're just gonna do that. We're gonna add in the tracking URL like that. And I'm just gonna do split, and we're gonna split by, I think it's the equal sign, and then we have one. It looks like we have two items, so I'm just gonna go to one, and there we have the tracking. Cool, cool, cool. And if we now search like that, uh, tracking number already. Oh my god, so you can only search on, let's see. Okay, uh, delete. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so you can only search on shipment once. Cool. And there we got the response. And now I'm gonna pin that. And now let's see what kind of, because we can see deliver successful, collected at, that's fine, delivered at, roster, load, arrived. Oh yeah, so we can actually see all of the statuses. And I mean, right now, the issues that we can see, there are seven notifications here. And realistically, you will only have one at a time, and it will always be the latest information, right? And so if we go to track info, which is there, and we don't, I mean, we can split it out. We can do that in this case. So if we go to, let's see here, track info, we split it out. Now we have 8 items. There you go. Does this say city or something? Nope, it does not say that. Okay, so as you can see here, we have to go by time, and we have to go by checkpoint delivery status pretty much. I think that's fine. Yeah. Okay, and then how are we gonna play this out? Because in the future, you will essentially have a new status every single time, right? But you will always only go for the latest status. So that means that you will only go for the first item. So if we were to limit this to one, we will always get the latest item, which in this case is delivered, right? That's essentially how the system is going to work. And then once we have that status, what do we want to do then? Uh, because let's say I'm just gonna do this. I think this is perfect, like this one. For example, load shipment, load vehicle, perfect. And then we can take that, and I'm just gonna format that number to plain text so it doesn't mess up my time. There we go. And we don't have location, so I'm probably gonna delete that, which is fine. Okay, and now when we have that, what we essentially want to do now is we want to compare the load vehicle, but it actually doesn't matter. It doesn't, what matters right now is that we just want to make sure that we're not updating this with the same status again. That's all that matters. So to do that, we will have to, we could probably run, I don't know if we can run an if node. It might not work out. because then it will have to be is not equal to, let's see, is not equal to this one, and then we have to do and shipment location date is not equal to this. So I'm just gonna rerun this again and then run it up here. So the question now is, this is undefined. Interesting. Location date. What is this? Why is it undefined? Oh, is it because we need it to be first? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. We just need to turn it first, which makes sense. And as you can see here, now it's false, and which makes sense because they're not the same. But if you want to be 100% sure that this works, we could just do this. So we could go back in here, and I could paste in this in here. And then I could also take this and paste it in here. And then this is just me like debugging, making sure that this logic makes sense. And as you can see here, it went to false. So the logic is actually not working the way, because uh, this should have, the one before should have gone into true. This is actually false. But for some reason, uh, what is going on? Checkpoint date. This, oh, this is what? It's not equal to. No, it's right. Yeah. Okay, so this should go to false because this is collected at parcel, and this is da-na-na, and that is that. So if I do something like that now, it should actually go to true if it works. Ah, perfect. There you go. So now, perfect. Because load vehicle and collected parcel shop, they're not the same. And the time is also not the same, which means that this is actually a new update, essentially. And we know that it works because when I added the other ones, these two, which are the same, nothing happened. And that's essentially what we want. We don't want to update anything if they are the same, but if they're different, we want to update it. And we're always going to get the latest because we're always getting one item, and the list is always sorted from the latest. So this is the latest, as you can see. And the list is always updated in a way where the latest is always at the top. Perfect. So here, we're really not going to do nothing at all. There's nothing really to do. Here on the sheet, we are, so okay, so when essentially we're here, and now I realize another problem. We actually need to add in insert column left order date or full field date. As you can see here, I'm making changes all the time because I'm building this in real time. And while building it, I will realize like, oh yeah, we actually need this and we need this. So we need a fulfilled date to also use. So this automation is essentially only gonna control in terms of updating the status. That's all it's gonna do. So essentially, we're actually done here. So I'm just gonna Google Sheet, update row in Sheet, and then I'm gonna go Shopify, shipped order tracking, orders, and then we're gonna go match by Shopify ID, and there we have the ID, and then we have to do first. It's fine to do first here because there's only one. Actually, no, this is not fine. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that. We have to loop, actually. Yeah, because in the future when we have multiple orders, the first is gonna mess us up hard. So we have to do something like that. Yeah, and I'm not gonna really add anything there. We can add, however, this do nothing. We can add it back there, and then we need to change all of these. So we need to go here, execute previous node, and then get in progress orders from, and this is going to be loop over items, and this is going to be loop over items. There we go. And now we can have the first, because it's the first in the loop. So the first in the loop is a unique item, essentially. This tracking URL, I mean, if you want to, you can essentially use the from the loop itself. That's fine to do in this case. Split out, that's fine. And then we can go back here. We can run that, and then we go back here. And we're just going to change this to loop over items. Perfect. And the only thing we're really going to change here, actually, we're going to change. Okay, so now we have another problem here, but I'm not going to fix it right away. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do this. So let me check. Checkpoint date. We're going to add that here. And then we're going to add the raw status here as well. Yeah. But there's one more thing. We need another if same status and same message and time, do nothing else, move forward, something like that. And then we're gonna add another if, and this if is let's see, it's kind of interesting that the raw status body is collected at parcel shop. That's kind of annoying, because in my head I'm thinking like delivered is okay. We're not gonna use these are not good. We're gonna use these are better, because deliver is delivered, right? So that makes a bit more sense in this case. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna do that, and we're just gonna do, we're not gonna use a collected parcel shop, we're just gonna use checkpoint delivered status. And then I'm just gonna go here, I'm gonna go to pick up like that. I might have to change the time to match up. There you go. And then let's roll that, and let's see that everything works fine. Shouldn't really be any big difference. Collected at partial shop, and let's change that to delivered. Perfect. Delivered and pickup is not the same. The times are not the same. Full. And once we've done that, I'm just gonna go here, and then I'm essentially going to checkpoint is, we can do is equal to delivered. We can, that's fine. And then we can copy that. To copy it fast, you click Command D or Control D on Windows. Let's see here. And the only thing I really want to do here is I just want to change the status to done. Because if it's delivered, delivered package, change status to done. Makes sense, right? It's delivered. We don't want to do anything more with it. However, if it's not delivered, then this is kind of where it's kind of interesting, right? And I'm just going to do that so I can just update it fast. Then we want to update the delivery status, the shipment location, and just keep it in a loop until it's delivered. And then that is it. Operation do nothing. Operation do nothing. It's gonna drag those down there. Just gonna write that down, and I'm just gonna add that there, like that. Essentially, something like that is. I like the way it's looking, something like that. And then I'm just gonna add that as well, and then I like the lines in like that. And then I'm just gonna do this. Can you give me good node names following my document above, please? Okay, cool. So essentially now we're done with this other system. So this system is essentially getting the orders and then going through the order and seeing what the status is. If the shipment has been delivered, it will then change the status to done. And then it won't really loop through that order, essentially. But if the shipment has not been delivered, it will then update the shipment with a new updated status all the time until it is delivered, right? And then I'm just gonna change all of this. Loop through orders makes sense. And as you can see here, like when you just do this, like when you just share it with chat, the only reason it's good right now is because I shared a document up top. I shared this document on how I want it to name things for me. So that's why keep leadership an event. If same mission time, then nothing else move forward. And then and then no, that's a name. That's sure. Check if status is new. Check if shipment is delivered, and then update in. And then mark order as delivered. There you go. So now this entire system is done, right? And that's really it. Like that. That's seriously how simple it is. And now we have two flows working together essentially with this. And then if I were to, I mean, if I were to run it right now, it is just gonna say to done. I mean, I can show you how it would look like. Now we add another. Yeah, we're gonna get that error. It's because I updated everything. We're not gonna change any of that. Oh, we need the fulfill date. That was the thing that I need. Let's see. When did we fulfill date? Let's see. Let's just write date. Updated as fulfillment. Updated that. Yeah, this is fine. This is actually what we want. Fulfillments, and then updated that. That's actually what we want. Is this the same? No, it's not the same. No, it's not the same. It's different. Okay, cool. And then we're just gonna add that there, and I'm just gonna. There we go. Now we have added that. Where is it? Oh, there it is. And we can probably remove that one. Or wait, we can keep that one and we can remove the bottom one. I'm not gonna run the number 2 yet because we do, and then I'm gonna sort these by name. And as you can see now, we will go by 1, 2. So it's quite easy now to see where we're working and how the automation works. So think of this like as one automation that is grouped together, and that's why we have this number going upwards. And then if we go to flow number 3, and I think flow number 3 is kind of the last automation, which is check shipment sent day versus arrival, something like that. We're gonna change that so it doesn't matter. And then we're gonna run a cron. We're gonna run it every 10 minutes. and we're going to get in the sheet, get rows, and we're gonna go here and then orders, and we're gonna add a filter. We're gonna do status in progress. So maybe now it makes sense why we can't do anything with that order yet, because if it's not in progress, we won't be able to catch it. So now we got that, and then we're gonna loop through every order, which makes a lot of sense, hopefully. Okay, perfect. So now we're at a point where we can essentially start thinking about message checking, like who should we message. So let's say that at our company, we want, if 2 days have passed and the package is not, and the package is still not close to the customer, we want to send an email and just let them know that, hey, this is where your package is, or this is the issues that we don't really see. So let's go back to flow number 2. And let's just check here. I don't think we could see a lot of data on where the package actually is. It might just be because we're working with old data or something, but you can see that it does offer like location. It's just that it's empty right now. So yeah, but let's act like it is not empty. But if it was not empty, we will be able to essentially have a shipment location as well, which will be even better, if I'm going to be real. And then another thing I realized as well on top of it right now is that we need a customer city. So I'm just going to do this customer city. So now things are a bit now it's a bit more complex actually. And then I'm just gonna do city, and it just says Stockholm Arlanda, which is fine. I'm just gonna copy that, and I'm not really gonna create. We can probably refresh this, and then we can add in customer city like that, and then I'm just gonna manually add it in here so I don't have to run it and add in a new row. But we're gonna add in their city like that, Stockholm Arlanda, perfect. And then let's just say that and remember, you will normally have this information inside of your system. So I'm essentially just making using dummy data. But if you go back here, and another thing I noticed is that this is actually supposed to go to Hedemora. So we're just gonna copy Hedemora, and I'm just gonna paste that here in here, and then we're gonna say that the package is in Borlänge. Just so that like that, and then of course remove all the extra space. There we go, and then we go back uh, in here, and then get the row. Okay, perfect. So now what we need to do is we need to do two things. First of all, we need to figure out how many days has passed since we sent the package. So we need to do get time between dates. So we need to take the field date, and we need to take now, and then format that, and then if we run that, we should get we are getting minus. Why are we getting minus? That is I don't think this is supposed to be in reverse though. I wonder if this is happening because let's do the 2-day time format, and then do the what? Oh, now I see the problem. But what date did we put in here? Shipment. Oh, never mind. The field date is okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so let's just do that. Third. Uh, okay, let's check now. Okay, one day. We probably need to like put this at the first. 3 days. Okay. We can probably do 2 days. I think that's fine for this demo. Okay, perfect. 2 days. So, and then we can just go there. If days is greater than or equal to 2, which is true in this case, and if it's false, we're just gonna do nothing at all. There's not. Uh, False should actually never really. Oh, it should happen because false is gonna happen when it's one day. That's the only scenario it's actually gonna happen because once because yeah, we're going to have to. Yeah, now when I think about it, this is actually going to be a problem because if it's greater than or equal to 2, we might resend a lot of emails, but we kind of don't want to do that. We only want to send one email probably, which means that we should probably have a customer has been notified. Oh, just want to check my spelling. Perfect. So that we're just gonna use that. Because I don't want to change status of the package. This just depends on how much you want to like let them know. But I think in most cases you kind of just want to notify them once. Okay, and then if this is greater than or equal to 2, and we're just gonna add another filter here. Customer has been notified. Is we're just gonna write no, and the no is gonna come. So if I go back, I know I'm going back and forth a lot, but it's because as we're moving along, I'm realizing like, oh, we need to add this. So now I have to write in like the no here because that's essentially where the no is gonna come from. So if I go back now to this and we go in here, it's gonna say no and then perfect. Okay. Now we have another problem because I don't think the AI tool knows how far locations are from each other, which means that API to find distance. Let's see here. I'm essentially is gonna do this. So I only need so I only need to find a place in an area so we can then use so we can then figure out how far it is between these two locations. Oh, maybe we should drop this now when I think about it because it's just like let's think this through. If I send an email and I'm just like, hey, your package is in this city, you so you know. I mean, for our sake, it's actually so it should be in these two locations. So therefore, therefore, knowing, therefore, selecting a random cafe in each city is more than enough. For example, Stockholm cafe. Seriously? Pardon me, we need. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, thank you. That's what I need. Okay, HTTP node. Actually, when I think about you, I think they have a node serve API that you can just use. Search on maps. Yeah. Okay, perfect. And so if the way this is gonna work is that we need to do two searches. So we need to do a merge essentially. So this is gonna be search in delivery city, and this is gonna be search package location. And if we look here, if we go to the loop, customer city, GPS coordinates, like that. And then if we go in here and go loop over items, mm, let's see how it looks like. Okay, so what did we get there? We should probably. Okay, so we got a lot of information, but okay, and then we're going to aggregate that into all items into one item like that. And actually, before doing that, let's just do a set field. Let's just do this as well. Limit, and then let's just do this and ask like, what uh, what information do we need here to essentially be able to use chef? Define the days between two distances. Only approx. Let's see what it says. Okay, that's perfect. So we're just gonna. Oh yeah, that actually simplifies things a lot. What the issue is right now that we have. Let's do this. Um, oh, there we go. We're just gonna do that. And maybe pin that so we don't run it over and over. Okay, perfect. Now we got the customer city. Are these two? Hmm. This is let's add that there. Package location GPS wanted, and then we're going to do that as well. And now we should have perfect. And yeah, I mean that's fine. It's because we're running it twice, but it's fine. Mm, and if we aggregate it, we're gonna have one item, which is fine in this case. If we wanted to, we could also run a cold, and we could do this. Can you create a code that will essentially only keep one of each from this list? Um, well, that didn't really work. It's because I copied it too fast. So I'm still seeing two items for each. Wait, let's see here. For some reason, it seems like I'm. Okay, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna do this. We're just gonna run that. Customer city pack. It's gonna be interesting. I need to double check this. I feel like package location, customer city GPS. This is gonna be 15, and this is gonna be 1543. Oh, my bad. They're the same. Oh, they're exactly the same. Because if I run this, they're just coming up twice. That's fine. Exactly. So if you run this limit, we're just gonna get this item, and that actually means that we don't really need that. Actually, we just need a limit. That's fine. And then we can add an AI agent, and we can just define below, and we can just do data locations, and we can just do something like this, JSON, and I'm just gonna do JSON.stringify like that, and then we're just gonna go down here, system message, and I'm just gonna do expression, and then okay, my document is no, it's not on, it's here. If I can copy this, then I'm gonna go. Your role is to calculate the number of days or days between two locations. You will receive a customer location and a package location. You will then calculate the distance between these two input. I mean, I feel like I asked for that. Output the number of days. Constraints. I don't. I mean, I usually don't make up anything. Only output the number of days as text and nothing else. And then can you refine this system prompt? So the thing is that the first time you make the system prompt, you can have ChatGPT refine it, but after that, you have to kind of manually update it. So I will only let it do it once, and then after that, I won't really do it. Let it do. So the original recipe to based on your distance, you will receive a customer interaction is only for a calculated distance between these two locations and convert it into a number of days. Output only number days as plain text. And today date is uh, now dot format. Yeah, day, month, uh, month, day. Something like that. And it actually makes sense to put this up top as well, just to make sure that it actually. And that's kind of it. We can run this with open. I'm not gonna use that. I'm just gonna use open router, and I'm going to use grok. Is 4. We can use 4.1 fast. That's good. And then we can just run that. Let's see what it says. 0 days. Can that be right? That sounds pretty crazy though. I'm just gonna check here more. It's like there. Stockholm here. Mm. It should at least be 1 day. There's no way that takes. Uh, how long? How long do you think it will take for a package to get delivered between these two locations? Let's see what this one says. Um, oh my god, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Well, that was not really supposed to happen. That's kind of weird. Is that because. Okay, we're just gonna do an aggregate for now, and I'm just gonna add like that, and then okay, let's go back here. Oh, it's because your code did not remove one of each city. Okay, there we go. Now we have what we need. Perfect. That's why I love using anti-gravity because it goes a lot faster than using ChatGPT. Okay, let's see here. This should at minimum take up 1 day. Yeah, 1 day. Perfect. So we got that right now. And this is now This is essentially when we are essentially just gonna send an email, because we're not going through this entire thread right now. So what we will go do right now is that we will essentially send a message, and we hopefully we added their email. Of course we didn't. Yeah, and as you can see here, we didn't really add any email in this, which would have made sense, like, because we probably need an email. I will just add the email there, and at example.com, for example. We can actually just copy that one like that. Then if we rerun this again, we run it up top, and if we go to loop over items, oh, you know what I realized? We probably need another AI agent. Yeah, I'm just gonna use another AI agent. We can use the same brain. And I'm just gonna do this, loop over items, and we should have, where's the email? Okay, and then we essentially have this AI agent here, and we're just gonna add days until package rough days left until it arrives. Something like that, and then we're just gonna do you are an helpful customer service agent who will receive uh, a day, which is the number of days until a package arrives. The goal is to write a message to the customer and let them know that we're on top of their order, and that it looks like it will arrive in X days, based on our historical data. Never promise what day it it will arrive. Just let them know that it won't arrive in the 2 days, in the 2 days 2 day frame we have on our website, where it says 2 to 3 days. System prompt refine. And okay, here I have just gonna copy that, and we're just gonna paste up that. It's gonna remove that. Um, da, da, da. Customer name. I don't know what I give it customer name. I hate doing that actually. Yeah, that's essentially it. And then we're just gonna run that. Write email to the customer agent. And then I'm just gonna do loop over items. We're just gonna add an email. Package is all on the way, and we're just gonna add in Yeah, we should probably have added in Shopify order number because the customer is not going to know what that ID is. So we're just going to add that in there. Good thing is that once you've done this once, you don't have to redo it again. And we're just going to add this set node here. It's going to run it up there and then remove it. And then I'm going to add that back. And then I'm just going to Shopify order number like that. And then we're going to change that to text. And we're just going to do expression hi. And now we can add in their name. And we can also add in the output here. So, hi, thank you for paying for your order. We're actually monitoring vaccines just moved to based on your shipment is feels to take. Please no action. Perfect. So that is the last step. And then of course we need to go to sheet, update row in sheet. And I'm not going to click there. I'm just going to click here. And column submersion, Shopify ID, loop over like that. Remove all of these. Yes. Do nothing. And then where is the loop? The loop is over here. And I don't know what email that is, so I'm just gonna use that one. And there we go. And now calculate days away from package, from delivery. Okay, and this node names. Okay, node names. I'm just gonna do this. It's probably because we're gonna take that part. Oh yeah. This is seriously, what is this? Oh, it's because SERP APIs has a huge amount of data that he has outputted. Now we're essentially gonna have to change all of these names, which we have done before, and then calculate days since fulfillment in his delivery day. Yeah, as you can see here, it was a lot of information there. I just need node name. Then in the meantime, I'm gonna close down those. We're gonna go back here, extract city, and for this. Where this is the body function. No, we can probably do. This is pretty much. I mean, this is the boring part. It's just like we're just essentially renaming all the nodes. That's all we're doing here. It's not really any more fun than that. Um, this is good. Okay, and that is it. We are done. It took some time to build out these three, but the thing that took the most time was actually figuring out this part. I'm gonna unpublish, and of course, you're going to need to add some sort of error logger on this as well. But this is essentially a system for essentially notifying the customer. And as you can see here, it is possible to make this. It's just that it's a lot of things you need to make right along the way. You just need to have the logic in place, and then it's just going to work. If you have some sort of problems, you just got to find some sort of API that you can use to solve the problem. There are so many APIs out there. So yeah, that's essentially it. But if you like this video, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.